Mixtape Podcast.
Yeah, what it do?
Our guy, Mitchell Robinson. And when he comes back, what's going to happen?
Before you say anything else, let's take into account what's happening today and what happened last night. LeBron came back yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
LaMelo Ball was supposed to be out for the whole season. He came back today.
Mm-hmm.
Malik Monk came back today.
Mm-hmm.
And today, Tom Thibodeau was saying that Mitchell Robinson is healing at the rate that they expected. And he won't comment on whether or not he'll be back this season.
Mm-hmm.
But the way things is looking right now, he already on the court. He already practicing. He still got the boot on, but once that comes off, it's like that could be any day now. If that boot comes off like at the end of the week, and then he starts practicing getting in shape for the playoffs, oh, it's gonna be on. Because he's probably gonna start off coming off the bench because he had a cast on his foot. He's not in the right condition right now. But once he get back in that condition and ready for the playoffs, Nerlens Noel's coming off the bench. And even if Mitch gets in foul trouble, you know who you got backing him up. And then you got Taj behind him. And then you got the other dude that we just signed, Norvel Pell. It's like, yo, this team is next man up for real. Big 15 for real. Like, the hits don't ever stop coming. It don't matter who's injured. We have enough guys who are prepared to get the job done. Who wants to face that in the playoffs? That's what I want to know. Miami? Maybe. Miami's probably the only team I'm a little nervous about. Boston is inconsistent. They wilding right now with Jason Tatum. He just dropped 60 last night, but
So
this team is on another level.
last time we talked about Mitchell Robinson's injury, I said it usually takes 6 to 8 weeks to recover. And unless you think the Knicks are going to make it deep into the playoffs, we probably shouldn't expect to see him on the court again.
I'm expecting it.
But now we are expected to get past the first round.
Oh, yeah.
And I just looked at when the NBA playoffs are scheduled to, how long they are scheduled to be.
Mm-hmm.
Pull out my paper real quick. And the NBA playoffs are from May 22nd to July 22nd. Mitchell Robinson injured his ankle March 28th.
Ankle? I thought he broke his foot.
I'm sorry, his foot, the fifth metatarsal in his right foot. Injured the fifth metatarsal of his right foot and underwent surgery. It was reported on March 29th. Which means he technically could be healthy for round 1 of the NBA playoffs. Which means if you really want to keep him out until midway through the series, you can. And if it looks like you're going to put the team away without him, you can wait until the second round.
Oh, my God.
Now, when they do that, you hinted at there might be some decisions to make between Nerlens Noel and Mitchell Robinson. What decision
It's a conversation now. We can't just
let
be
me tell you why. This is not a conversation. I'm going to tell you why. While Nerlens Noel is good at the blocks and the steals, that doesn't necessarily make your defense better. Mitchell Robinson makes your defense better because for whatever reason, actually I know the reason why. Nerlens Noel is not intimidating. The fact that he gets blocks is intimidating. But when you see a path to the rim and all that's stopping you is Nerlens Noel, you're going to try him.
It ain't been successful so far.
You're right, but
Try more. You
that sometimes you get successful. More often than not, you're not. But let me tell you what's better than being less successful than not when you try. What's better than that is not trying at all. Looking at the rim and seeing Mitchell Robinson, don't do that.
They be trying him too. And for
They
context,
do not try Mitch the way that they try Nerlens Noel. They look at Mitch at the rim, and they may drive to the rim and they see he's there, and they draw and they take their ass right back out to the corner. If they catch him sleeping, they catch him sleeping, but that's the only way that they put the ball up 9 times out of 10. Whereas 9 times out of 10, they're gonna try Nerlens Noel and get blocked. But Mitchell Robinson, without even having to jump, without having to do anything, is a defensive stopper. And he still gets the blocks. And he's better on the perimeter when he was talking earlier about Nerlens switching out and stealing the ball and all that stuff. When Mitch switches out, he goads you into shooting the three, and then he blocks the three. So Nerlens may be better at blocks when it comes to the rim, but Mitchell Robinson is better overall when it comes to blocks, because he can block you at the rim and he can block you at the three.
for context,
Mm-hmm.
Taj Gibson, right? He's our third string center when Mitch
Yep.
is healthy. He was starting over Mitch last year.
Mm-hmm.
And he started this year due to talent. And he started this year when Nerlens was a free agent acquisition, still getting his rhythm when he got when the season started. They're in rhythm right now.
Mm-hmm.
They have an entire groove together right now with Nerlens as the anchor on defense.
Before I'm going to interrupt you. Do you feel like when Mitch came back for those 3 games that they were out of rhythm?
I don't think they were out of rhythm.
Okay.
It's pretty much the same type of game, but
Yeah, exactly. All right.
in the playoffs, it's not going to be the same type of game.
You're
In the
right.
playoffs, you're going to be going against a coach who's scouted against you and is going to be game planning to make everything difficult for every one of your top players.
You can't game plan against Mitch when Mitch hasn't been playing. So
Of course,
they're
you
going to
can.
have
He's going
a
to
whole.
play the same way he did before
They're
he
going
got
to have a
injured.
whole first round footage on Nerlens Noel. They're not going to have any footage except for the 10 games or so that Mitch played. And
10 games. He was playing for the first half of the season.
he played 31 games this year.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of those games he came out of because he was hurt.
2.
Well, that's a couple. So
That's a lot of footage.
I don't think that Mitch showed everything that he had to show this year, because as we've seen throughout the season, the players that started off this year are not the same players that finished.
That is
So
true.
you're going to be game planning against old Mitchell Robinson footage where he wasn't showing everything that he could do. You don't know what he's learned while he's been out. You don't know what he's going to have the green light to do. You don't know any. We just know what we've seen.
We know that he hasn't practiced anything because he hasn't been able to even be on the court. With a
He's
foot
practiced
injury,
stuff.
you can't get better. Well, you could probably get better.
He's practiced
knowing
stuff
certain
before
things.
the season, like the 3-point shot. He's been practicing that and we don't know if Nerlens
not
Noel
shooting
just
the
shot a 3. Nerlens Noel just shot a 3. We didn't even we was just like, oh, he's never going to shoot a 3. If you would have told me before this last game if Nerlens is going to shoot a 3 before the season ends or in playoffs, I would have said no. But I don't know if he was told not to shoot and now it's like, all right, you have the green light. I don't know if Mitch is allowed to shoot 3. I don't know. We don't know. We're just going off of what we've seen. So all I can gather from what we've seen is that Mitch is a better defender than Nerlens Noel. He's a better defender because he's more capable throughout the whole court on defense, and he's better because he can rebound better, and because he's a threat, and he's a offense changing center, whereas Nerlens Noel is not. So
I ain't rooting for Nerlens to take his spot.
I
I
know
felt
you're
like it's
not,
just
but you're saying like it's a conversation, but I
it's
don't think
definitely a conversation.
I don't think it's a conversation for Tibbs. I think Tibbs is Tibbs says, Mitch, you're healthy, you're in shape, you're in game shape. I think that you're gonna help us. He's gonna start,
Also,
and
from my perspective,
the only way he's not gonna start is if he feels like he has to have Nerlens and Mitch both play in the game because without both of them, they're gonna lose the series. So he's gonna
another
have
key
to get him on
stat:
the court.
Nerlens is shooting 70% from the free throw line. Mitch is shooting 49% from the free throw line.
Matters none.
He's not shooting no threes in the playoff series. I
Excuse
can
me.
guarantee you that.
I don't think he is
His
either. But
three his threes are they look good in the workout videos in the home gym in New Orleans, but we ain't seeing him shoot a three in preseason, so I doubt he's gonna be shooting. He ain't even shooting mid range. Nerlens
well,
has been
I
shooting mid ranges at least a few times throughout the season.
I'm not gonna put too much stock into the free throw shit because I think that that was a lot of Mitch's missed free throws was during a stretch where all of the Knicks were playing like trash or were shooting like trash from the free throw line. There was a stretch where we couldn't buy a basket at the free throw line. I was like, all right, maybe we should stop getting fouled and just start hitting our shots
Oh
because
my!
nobody could hit a free throw. Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, most of that stretch was before Mitch got hurt. Is it because Mitch got hurt that we improved from the free throw line, or was it just a bad stretch from everybody on the court? I don't know, but I can't put any stock into that. But I do agree with you. I think Mitch is still not a good free throw shooter. I still think he's not going to shoot a three. But I also feel like Tom Thibodeau is not letting certain players show their full capabilities until the end of the season, like Julius, like Nerlens, like RJ Barrett. I think there are things that they're working on throughout the season that he's going to show in these last few weeks and in the playoffs. So I can't say without a doubt that Nerlens is definitely going to come off the bench. But Mitch was starting for a reason. When he first came back from his hand injury, he started. So that's what I'm going to go off of.